Well, hi everyone, and welcome back to the Ascension Playground. This is your friend Ursie. Oh my goodness, so look at these two shafts of light that are just kind of coming into play with this special recording. I felt inspired after sharing with you a little bit about my art, especially around the art of the Akash. Something about staying in motion, where I continue my dance and then I invite spirit or source to meet me in the dance. So I know from all the esoteric knowledge that I've researched that when we stay static or we stay like confined, things don't happen. We've balled ourselves up. But let's just say sometimes if I just say, okay, I'm going to move this way, and then I'm going to trick my brain, like instead of saying I'm going to go clean the garage, I just say, okay, I'm going to go putter. I'll just go in for 10 minutes. And suddenly I'm in there, I'm moving, and then I'm organizing. And then after I've organized, it's like, wow, I feel like painting. So this is something to share with you that I think that spirit guides and source energy, it meets us when we're moving. And so for me, I think that's a real key ingredient for how I navigate. Others may feel perfectly fine with meditating and going within and feeling very still and, and getting answers that way. For me, I feel like it has to be about, okay, swimming or moving. I think because I have so many mutable signs in my astrological natal chart. That's just kind of fun. But hey, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to share a little bit more of art with you with the hope of perhaps inspiring someone who might be listening to consider sharing and continuing deeper with their own investigation. Okay, let's see. Where did I put this beautiful little? So, I'd like to share with you a little bit of the art that I've created. And so here we go. Okay, hoping to inspire anyone who might be listening to take a peek. In some ways, we are each and every one of us an artist. We just have different ways of sharing ourselves with the world, whether it's through a great meal that you've cooked, a garden you've planted, or poetry, pottery, paintings. Okay, so here I am again talking with you about the art of the Akash. And my tagline is that brings everything for me together, embracing unity and light. This is what gets me out of bed, gets me out of my comfort zone to start sharing a little bit more with you. And the logo I created above is, yes, a rainbow circle around a 64-point unity grid. My mind is not really clear of why I chose this. It just feels good. This sacred geometry with the Tibetan rainbow body and discussions around ascension and then the descension of our higher selves to support moving forward into the fifth dimension, into the new earth. Okay, that was a big blast. But here we go. Let me share some pictures with you. It's a short little slideshow. But this is something that I wanted to call and share with you. And the title is a series of spirit guides, spirit figures. But basically, all of them had a type of feminine form. I was listening to Cryon talk about the 12 layers of DNA and mentioning our Palladian star mothers, in particular, Eliliu. So I brought this 64-point unity grid and put it at her heart chakra as our great grandmother who helped set our human blueprint, the divine DNA blueprint to create and bring us forward into this now moment. So here's the journey. It all began, I think the year was around 2000. I want to say 16 or 17. And my friend Tammy said, hey, do you want to go with me? Because I always need a friend. I'm a little timid about going places myself. She wanted, we both decided to go with William Henry and his beautiful wife, Claire Henry, to do a trip into France from Lourdes, Languedoc to Lourdes. It was basically a spiritual pilgrimage. And on this tour, I just got to meet some very fascinating and amazing people, while William shared with us a lot of his esoteric wisdom. In fact, during the trip, I did ask for a special reading from William, who was also a tarot card reader. And I said, I just feel so stuck. I've got one side of me loving all the spiritual and divine mysteries, and the other side as a painter, working with the figure and abstract emotional work. And so my card reading that William gave me was, well, you need to step out and let spirit guide you to pick up that next foot. So it was almost like the fool's card, stepping over the cliff. But I wanted to share this William Blake painting with you because, in some ways, Blake was the quintessential painter, geometer, philosopher, mathematician, astronomer, etc. I mean, his painting here basically embodies how I was trying to sort myself out, like, which camp am I supposed to be in? And I was being very linear as far as, am I an artist or am I a spiritual seeker? How do I bring the two together? Because they both pump my heart full of passion. So shout out to say thank you to Tammy, and thank you to William and Claire and the whole gang. And as a result of going to France, I came back and painted this very abstract, almost cosmic looking figure. It's got the feminine vesica piscis. It's when the two circles combine and you've got that mandorla, the almond shape from which all the beautiful images of the ancients basically offer us a portal. This is the portal that Christ comes through. Every human living, every living being typically comes through that kind of portal, which is very fascinating, right? So in it, we were also studying about the Magdalene and the Mary Magdalene story and tracking the Holy Family through southern France, learning about the Cathars, learning about the Essenes, trying to track and trail some of the research being done. We went to Rennes-le-Chateau. I can't remember. I was reading Robert Lawler's book going, okay, I see the patterns he found in the geography that match the celestial heavens. Sorry if this is much. But anyway, I came back and I painted not one of these, but I think they were maybe massive amounts, like 20 or 30 of these little paintings. I put a malachite crystal in the center. It's carrying the Magdalene energy. I think it's got the 13. I always think of Magdalene as the 13th apostle. And then William has written so many books. One was about the Magdala and the 153. And I go, hey, William, you know, the 13 is the 1 and the 3, and you put the 5 in the middle. There's Magdalene's number, 153, with the 5 being the 5-pointed star for Venus. So lovely, lovely, lovely. My heart was full, so I came back and I allowed myself to begin this study of enjoying geometry and painting more so. Okay, so just knowing myself, I usually need someone on the other side to say, if you're going, I'm going. And then, with the great shutdown and pause that we all experience globally, I had a 5,000 square foot rental come open to me. So I rented it and it allowed me to expand. And with the bigger space, it informed my ability to work on all different scales of painting, whether it's 30 by 70. Those are, I think, 48 by 48s back there, 36 by 72. I had all this space. Wasn't very warm, but I had all this space. So I was able to then move and start working with the phi ratio, looking at the Metatron's cube, of course, working with the Osirian double penta with a hexa shape around. So the 5-6 energy. And then I started doing these like 12 by 12 and 14 by 14 inch, just a series of having fun working with the geometries, sacred spirals, the nautilus shell shape. But see how the space informed my ability to just expand. I was staying in motion. I was really using a lot of paint and a lot of canvas. And you can see it's just since no one was there, I didn't have to edit myself. I could just say, okay, go. Thank you, universe, for the space. I don't know how long I can be here, but every week, every day I could come, it was like, thank you, thank you. I feel so blessed. Now, I wanted to share this very interesting individual with you, Stuart Pierce. Of course, while I'm on my trip with William Henry and Claire Henry, I met a friend who had studied with Stuart, and I was well aware of his Angels of Atlantis oracle cards. Plus, I have his other card decks. I love Richard Crook's work. This is the illustrator. So, because I had also studied and understood some of Tom Kenyon's work with the Hathors, I knew that for every painting, if I chose it to be a portal or a healing transmitter, would need to have two angels with each of the paintings to basically hold in place this light for protection and for vibration. So I'd start a painting. This is the beginning stages, and I would choose two cards. I would basically shuffle the deck and say, which two cards would like to, support this beautiful painting? So began that fun. So here I am. I'm bringing the spiritual, all the learnings I have into my craft of painting and letting myself just see, okay, let's see what happens. So I do write on the back of each painting, especially if it's a portal, the name of the archangel and the card I chose so that it carries that vibration. And then here you go. I started putting angels in the center of some paintings, butterflies as a metaphor for the great shift that we are in, the shift of light, the shift of ages. And so now we're seeing a larger painting of a spirit guide, but behind it, you can start seeing I'm working on small ones, large ones. There were medium sized ones. It was almost like I was letting myself just have this, I don't know, fire hose experience of just go and play and move to the next one. I wouldn't let my mind get trapped into, I have to create the perfect masterpiece and understand it all and make lots of drawings and then basically illustrate the drawing. That's not how I roll. I just allowed spirit to use me as a channel, and it was enough to create the paintings and enjoy them at that time, right? So now I'm in this next phase of communicating and sharing them with you. Okay, so you can see that I called in Mother Mary, and one of the spirit guides was Mother Mary. I had done Stargate work up in Mount Shasta with Prageet and Julianne. And so it's like, okay, we'll bring in Archangel Michael energy, but always for some reason, the 64-point unity grid, which again is the masculine equivalent of the flower of life. Here's the same painting, just a little bit more of a close-up. And I haven't yet put the Swarovski crystals, the 64 points in them. And it just lights up. And as light hits it, there's little rainbow, little sparkles that come off the painting. But it shows you I was given this very old building. And here's yours truly. But who kept me company during those long, cold days in the studio? Yes, it was large, but it was cold. Here's my sweet little Sophie and my Teddy. So Sophie and Teddy, two little corgis, can't do this alone. My husband Mike was holding down the fort, making nice meals at home, but my puppies, oh yeah, let me stop sharing for a moment. So here we go. I'm in motion now, right? So if you're an artist or a craftsperson and you've made some wonderful things during the big pause, but you haven't started talking about them and you're pretty excited about them, consider making little videos and posting them or sharing them, or come talk to me. Let's do something together on the playground, a little share and tell. So thank you so much for listening. In fact, let's see, the one behind me, this is really a painting. It's not a virtual background, but here is just letting the flow and dynamic of color with this spherical image that has, yes, the flowers of the divine feminine as a foil against the masculine qualities of this beautiful star pattern. And now you can see the little Swarovskis. I mean, when the light hits it, it's just like, and look at my little shafts of light have left. Well, thank you for joining me. And we're again closing the year of 2022 pretty soon. So make sure to give a little shout out so we can hear you and connect. Soul families reuniting. Thanks again, and see you next time on the Ascension Playground. Bye for now.